in South Korea?
Well, to give you some context, in the past like 3 years, Netflix has absolutely exploded in Korea. Like it's the it's the thing that everybody watches. It's either YouTube or Netflix. Like there are
Yep.
two there are two streaming services that have been developed within the country, and they're not doing well at all. But
Hmm.
Netflix is you can ask any of my students, anybody, and they all have Netflix. It's incredible. It's like a it says 3.8 million users in South Korea, and I think that's a low estimate. I think it's way more than that. But in
And
2021,
just for, I was gonna say, just so that everyone else knows, like Korea's population is like around 50 million, maybe a little above.
yeah,
Can't remember the exact amount. So that's
exactly.
that's still a like huge portion of the population.
Yeah, and this is just I think, like I said, a low estimate. And
Hmm.
Netflix itself is going to invest $500 million into Korean content this year, which is an absurd amount of money. I was researching this a little bit, and in 2020, the total budget for Netflix content was $17 billion. Like, think about that, $17 billion for content. And then they were saying
Dang.
in 2021 it's probably going to go up $2 billion. So $19 billion for worldwide content. Um, and then Korea is going to get 500 million. Now, what Netflix has done is it's invested into two different studios that are going to be outside of Seoul. So there's going to be
Hmm.
independent studios that will be developed to make the content. Um, they're going to invest in like new shows, new movies. There have been a couple of movies that have sort of movies and shows. One show, Sweet Home, kind of took
Hmm.
off around the world, and then the most recent Space Sweepers Korean movie, it did very well on Netflix. So based on those two um, things, I think Netflix is leaning very heavily into putting more content out there, and I think it's kind of a good thing because I feel like some of the best Korean movies and content are done outside of the normal SBS, NBC, normal was it like channels and
Broadcasting systems and
broadcasting
yeah.
systems. All of the best dramas I've ever seen are on the cable channels. The dramas that are or movies that are shown on the regular broadcasting stations are all kind of garbagey. So to
And
even
you
be
can predict what happens in every single one.
exactly, it's the same story every time. And
Yeah.
so to have this other outlet for creativity, I think is just it's a game changer for the Korean wave that is going around the world. But yeah,
Yeah.
what do you think? Do you watch any of the Korean stuff on Netflix, and what do you think about this?
I haven't lately, and that's just because I don't have enough time. I actually want to start watching more, because I think that there's a lot. I think there's really great possibilities. Um, Surprisingly enough, the dramas and movies that the Korean dramas and movies that I think have just been incredible are almost like critiques of Korean society and and the the director's ability to look at problems in the society and then have people realize those problems, because talking about problems, societal problems in Korea sometimes is a little bit taboo, and it's just because there's such a huge national pride. They don't want, to drag their name through the mud at all. I totally get that. Every single country has their problems, but I think that if they have more outlets to use media and to be creative, it's gonna help. It's gonna help a lot. That's just my personal opinion. Because just like what you said, the main broadcasting systems, it's all the same thing. Poor girl meets a rich dude. They fall in love. There's a little problem in between, but they always get together. And then now she's part of high society.
Yeah,
And
it's the
and
Cinderella that the Cinderella trope is overused way too much.
oh yeah, definitely. And there are some Korean movies and dramas that just left me like blown away because they were just so incredible. But I think that, yeah, providing more opportunities for directors, actors to get out of those, I almost suspect that there are like contracts that those broadcasting systems have that don't allow them to be so creative.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm completely wrong, but
yeah. I don't know, but I all I know is like you were saying, the freedom of the creators to pretty much do what they want without being stuck in a loop or a system is kind of exciting. Um, I mean, Koreans are excited because it's going to um, be projected out to the world, which is a cool thing.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, I think so too.
yeah, so we'll see what happens, but I think it's just a crazy amount of money that they're bringing into the country to for just content itself. Um, but I don't know what's going to happen with the other streaming platforms. I mean, I watch one of the shows on the other platforms, and it's pretty good. Um,
So what are the like domestic streaming platforms?
One is TVing, which is run. I forgot who it's run by, but it's run by one of the big companies here. And then the other one, there's Watcha, which is a direct competitor to Netflix. They got the rights to show Harry Potter, which was a big deal. So there was like a week long advertisement spree on every website that you could watch Harry Potter on Watcha. And it said another one. Oh, I forgot. Let me see. Da, 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 da. Wave.
Yeah,
Wave
I've
is
heard of
another
Wave.
one. Disney Plus has just it's gonna start here as well. Um, but yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen though. There's just it seems like there's more and more platforms coming up that it's just like you can either spend like $100 on streaming platforms a month, or just choose one and then not be able to watch something on the other streams. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I know that Netflix is the number one uh, streaming platform in Korea as of right now, and
Mm-hmm.
they're betting a lot that that's going to continue.
Yeah. Yeah.